So here Krishna is saying that for him who has conquered the mind, who knows that I'm not my mind, mind is in my control, then the mind is the best friend, right? Like how Niranjana said. But for one who has failed to do so, his mind will remain his greatest enemy. So, who is a friend? A friend is someone who will follow your directions or who knows what you also want, who cares for you. He will help you make progressive and healthy choices. A friend is one who, and a mind who is your friend is detached from sense gratification. He is not running after all the sense objects. And what is the result? Freedom and elevation. You're free from all this running after sense desires because your mind is in your control and you are elevated. You're in a higher level because you are attached to the divine, and you have made your mind your friend. But what if the mind is working as your enemy? You will follow your sinful directions. For example, Ravana. Ravana actually knew all the Vedas. He knew the truth. He knew such a lot, but he could not control his sinful desire. He heard such a beautiful description of Sita from his sister. Who was that? That's the Trataka. Her nose was cut, no? That Shurpanakha. Her nose was cut, and she had come to Ravana and said, Sita is so beautiful. And then from that moment, he just wanted Sita. And he followed his sinful desire, not listening to any advice. His brother Vibhishana told him so many times, don't do that. It's a wrong thing to desire somebody else's wife. It's a wrong thing to have desire for others' wives. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, ma'am.
Yeah, okay, you're late today. Doesn't matter. You can see the recording of the first class. We were reading Krishna's stories. And now I'm doing chapter 6 about controlling the mind. So when the mind is the enemy, it will run after sinful desires like for Ravana, even Hiranyakashipu. Actually, Hiranyakashipu was also very wise. He had a lot of knowledge. When his brother had died, his brother's wife, Hiranyaksha, his brother, had died when Krishna had taken the avatar and killed Hiranyaksha. At that time, Hiranyaksha's wife was crying, and he gave such a lot of knowledge to his wife, to his brother's wife, saying that why you crying? Birth and death are for everyone, and so much of knowledge he gave her. But he was very desirous. He wanted more and more of wealth for himself, and he wanted to enjoy, and he did not want to die. And he asked for the boon that I should not be killed by anyone in the day or night, and all those things. And because of that, it led to his destruction and end. If your mind is your enemy, you will be irritated, you'll be agitated, you'll be misguided, you'll be attached to sense gratification, and the result will be you will be degraded, you'll be entangled, you will not have freedom. In the previous life, your mind, you're the master of your mind, you have freedom and you are elevated. But if your mind is your enemy, then it will result in degradation and entanglement. Okay, so everything actually, both the demon and the divine in our yoga is inside us. You have to control that demon within your mind who is telling you to run after sense desires, and you must respect the Krishna within you and allow your mind to be in your control and see that there is a divine within you. So I am not this body, I'm not this mind also. If you have this one idea, you will be able to control your mind, because you are not this mind and body. Why should I follow the mind is saying do this, the body is saying do this? I am not going to do that, because I am not this body or mind. I am the spirit soul, and I want to follow the Lord's instructions, the Paramatma who's inside me, who knows what is the best thing to be done. And then you can easily control your mind. So yoga is redefined by Krishna. He says that yoga, as you can see, what is not. Can someone read? Arya, can you read what yoga is not? The 4 things that Krishna says yoga is not.
Yes, ma'am. What is not? What is it not? Breathing exercise, physical exercise for healthy body, going to Himalayas, and better facility for sense enjoyment.
Correct. So Krishna is saying that yoga is not all these things. But what is yoga? Anushka, can you read what is yoga in the first paragraph? Union. Anushka has not joined. Arav, can you read what is yoga?
Yes, ma'am. Union between individual consciousness and supreme consciousness.
Yes, so here you can see the picture of this girl. Here is Sukirti Mataji's slide I have taken, and she was explaining. You can see a girl, her individual consciousness is united with supreme consciousness, and so she'll be in the flow with what the universe really wants you to do. Whereas if you follow your own personal desires, you won't be aware of what is it that you want to do. Only when you're in union with that supreme consciousness will you be able to do what is needed to be done. Okay, so here we have all these yogas. Sakam, in the beginning of this class I explained to you Sakam Karma Yoga, Nishkam Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga. You have a lot of knowledge and they have a lot of speculation, and such people sometimes do not believe in Krishna as a human being. They think that it's just an energy, and then they think that I want to merge into this energy. But that's also selfish, because they only want for themselves to be free and merged and just be there, but they cannot be there permanently, because whenever the result or the karma is the whatever they've done is over, they will have to come back. And some people, they go to ashtang, you control their body, and so much of asanas and all, they'll do pranayam and all those things, which we'll see in the next slides. And then Krishna, the highest is bhakti yoga. Okay, so now 1 minute, let me just disable clear. All right, so let's move on. So the life lesson that we learn here is, let's move on to the life lesson. Yes, you choose your goal and that will define your role. So you must be wondering, what is it that I have to do, right? So you have to choose a goal. That's very important. God gives you a little bit of liberty to choose your goal, to choose your desire, to choose what you want. And then that will define your role. Once you have chosen your goal, you will take on the role of what is to be done to reach that goal. So you have to choose which yoga you're taking and look around you in this world. What is my role as a son, as a brother, as a sister, as a mother, as a student, as all that, and you choose your goals, right? And in Ashtanga Yoga, Krishna will explain from 6.10 verse to 6.36. I will not do all of them, but I just want to tell you, here he talks about how many difficulties one has to go through physically and mentally to be able to do Ashtanga Yoga properly, where slowly the energy is brought through all the chakras and all that. A lot of effort is required. So I'll just do some of them. In this verse, Krishna says you should hold your body and neck and head erect in a straight line, stare at the tip of your nose, and then unagitated, you must subdue your mind. You should not have any fear. You should not have any sex life. You should meditate and within your heart and make only Krishna your goal. Then he says in verse 6.26, from wherever your mind is wandering, due to flickering and unsteady nature of the mind wants to wander. You must withdraw it and bring it under your self-control. Then he says in Ashtanga Yoga, you should have an unagitated mind, no desire, complete celibacy means no sex life, and it should be like a lamp in a windless place. A lamp, if you light a lamp, there's no wind, how it will be steady? Like that you should be, and all your habits should be regulated. So here he gives 8 steps. Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita explains the 8 steps of Ashtanga Yoga. He says that yama and niyama, you must have external discipline of stopping yourself from doing things which are not to be done, and you should have niyama, internal discipline. The mind inside also should be controlled and connected. Then there is asana. You should be able to keep an asana for a long time, hours. You should be able to sit in a posture. Pranayam, breath control. Pratyahar, withdrawal of your senses. Dharana, concentration. And dhyana, which is meditative absorption, which all requires complete renunciation from family. You cannot do all these things and also have a family life and do all your acts. It's very difficult. Now, what does Arjuna say after seeing all this? He says, oh no, Krishna, I can't do all this. Arjuna says, the mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong, oh Krishna, and to subdue it is more difficult than even controlling the wind. So Arjuna is very frank. He says, oh no, Krishna, I can't do all these things. It's not possible. And in Kali Yuga, children, Krishna himself has said in many scriptures that it's not possible for us to go into the forest, to leave everything and do all these, very tough yogas. So there is I think I've explained this also once. We should imagine our body like a chariot, and which has five senses, which are five horses, and the person who is driving it is our intelligence, and our soul is the person who is sitting in that chariot. If you can remember this picture, you should understand that if you let your senses run after sense objects, then you will be going nowhere. You'll be having no direction in life. You will not know that my goal is self realization. I'm born as a human being for self realization, is my main goal to and my duty towards my soul. So the mind is bigger than the senses. It, with the reins, the mind are the reins. It can control the senses. And the intelligence is higher than the mind. Intelligence can control the mind, but the soul is the highest. If you keep your soul attached to the higher purpose of Krishna and be with Krishna all the time, then your intelligence, mind, and senses will all be in control. Multitasking, Krishna says, actually reduces the attention. Success comes when you can have single-minded focus instead of thinking of the results. Or if I study now, will I be able to get better marks than her or him? Or if you think of the results, or I will get the certificate of the first ranker, or I will get this award. Instead of thinking of results, have a single-minded focus with no thought of results when you're working. Right? You will plan your goal. You will decide what is your desire. What should be your desire? It should be to be in the highest level of human beings aim, which is to achieve self-realization, which easiest path is bhakti yoga. And then Krishna will give you in this 6.35 very important verse. He will tell Arjuna, when Arjuna has asked, in this slide we saw Arjuna asked, oh Krishna, I can't control my mind. And then Krishna will explain in this, he'll give the answer. Oh, mighty armed son of Kunti, it is undoubtedly very difficult to curb the restless mind, but it's very difficult, but it is not impossible. He says it is possible. What does he say? Abhyasena. Abhyas means practice. You have to keep on practicing. Abhyasena tu kaunteya, O Kunti's son, vairagyena cha grihyate. Through vairagya, detachment. If you're attached to the desire or to the fruits and you're attached to different things, you cannot concentrate and control your mind. How can you get detachment? I've told you in earlier chapters, you can't say, oh, I'm going to be detached. No, you have to attach everything to Krishna and have that single attachment to the higher taste. Then you can be detached. And by continuous practice, two ways, practice, detachment. So what are the two ways of controlling the mind? Who will tell me the two ways? Raise your hand, Arya, Ritika. Okay, Ritika.
The two ways to control our mind is regularly practicing and by detachment of the materialistic things and having ourselves attached to the higher taste.
Superb, Ritika. Very good. Arav, can you also say the same thing? And Arya, one by one. Yes. Arya, your hand is raised.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am, to control mind, we need to practice consistently and detach our. We need to get detached from material world.
Yes, very good. Arya, can you also say once more and also read this life lesson? Arya?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, to control our mind, first we should be like we should remove the attachment to the materialistic things, and we should also like also, ma'am, we should also meditate, because meditation is also one of the ways where you can control your mind. And even like you, because manifesting is one of the best ways to be controlling the materialistic needs and everything.
Right.
I'll read the life lesson.
Yeah.
Okay. Mind control is difficult but not impossible. So continue practice till you succeed.
And also,
Don't spam your mind.
Yeah, so don't at any time clutter your mind and think that I am doing, multitasking. Remember that single focus is needed. And how will you do that? Through detachment and through practice. And one of the ways of practice is also meditation. And manifestation, which you spoke about, is where you set your goal. Manifestation is all about setting a goal, and then when you're keeping your mind detached, your mind becomes like a calm water, and then you think of what is the higher purpose of you choose your role. Like today I told you, you choose your goal, and then your role is decided by your goal, and then with single minded purpose, with detachment and practice, you will be able to manifest very easily. You'll be able to manifest all the things that you choose or you desire. So God has given everyone a liberty to choose and desire. You can choose your own life mission, and that is entirely God has given you liberty, but He gives you so many guidelines how to practice and how to be detached to achieve that. Okay. So destination of an unsuccessful yogi, where Arjuna says, "Oh Krishna, it's already 11. Shall we do from this slide onwards in the next class?" Actually, it's very simple. I have already told you this. When Arjuna is saying, "Krishna, what is the destination of someone who's unsuccessful? I'm trying to have my mind controlled, I'm practicing, but I can't do it, and then I fail. What will happen to me? Then will I go to hell, or what will happen?" Krishna will answer. He says, "Unsuccessful yoga. After many years of enjoyment, he will enjoy all the good deeds that he has done. Then he gets born back on earth as a pious living entity. He'll be born in a family which will support him to continue his aim of self-realization. He'll be born into a family of rich aristocracy. Why? So that he will not be bothered with the garibi. He will not have to worry about his food, clothes, and all that, and he can focus his mind on developing himself once more. So Krishna says, never is a bhakta who's trying and doesn't reach there. He will never fail, because he will continue from there in his next birth. So fall from beginner position, he will go to heaven, he will enjoy for some time, he will take birth in a rich place or in a spiritual family, and then it is always win-win. You will never lose any time that you spend in Krishna consciousness, in being aware of Krishna as God. It never wasted. And then in the last part of the chapter, Krishna says that highest yoga is Bhakti Yoga. And with that, the 6 chapters of Karma Yoga are over today. And from the 7th verse, we will be starting the Bhakti Yoga. 7 to 12 chapters are all mainly about Bhakti Yoga. Okay. And the last verse, he says that Bhakti is the highest. A yogi is greater than an ascetic, greater than empress, and greater than fruitive worker. Fruitive worker is a Karma Yoga. Empress is the Gyan Yoga, but the Bhakti Yoga is the greatest and topmost of all. And this shlok we also did in the beginning of the class, and I made you repeat the last verse. So he says, abide in me, think of me always, mad gatina antaratmana, in this verse. Okay, Shraddhavan bhajate yo mam, service unto me, Shraddhavan, with concentration. Okay, and Bhakti Yoga gives you maximum results with minimum effort. No qualification is needed, no tough yoga is needed. It makes you sin free, and Krishna will take control of your life. That's it. Destination is Bhakti. Okay, Hare Krishna children, it's 11 o'clock, and I want you all to chant. I'm going to put this quiz link today. I don't remember. This is, I think, chapter 5 quiz. Last 2 classes, I forgot to put the quiz. I want you all to answer this quiz. It's there in the chat. I'm also putting it in the WhatsApp. Hare Krishna, everyone. Please try to chant as much as possible. And next class, tell me how many chants you have done. Bye, everyone. Hare Krishna. Any questions? Any questions, children?
No, ma'am.
All right. Okay. So take care, everyone.
Hare Krishna, ma'am.
Hare Krishna. Bye. Please answer the quiz.
Yeah.